Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Friday, payday, November 11th slate of NBA action, man. I'm super excited to dive into it. We actually have a pretty decent slate once again of the NBA. It's a lot bigger than what the 4-game sample that we ended up having as of yesterday. So we do have a lot more games on, a lot more plays to look at. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of lines up yet, so I'm more than likely to be adding one. But we'll go ahead and talk about that here in just a minute. At the time of recording this video, we are still currently on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We are literally two subscribers away from 8,000. More than likely, we will be hitting that as of today. And so we will be doing a giveaway probably in tomorrow's video. So make sure that if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of yesterday. Not necessarily the greatest day. We ended up going 1-2 on our plays. So we did end up having Kyle Kuzma over 17.5 points here versus the Mavericks at -120. Honestly, I even tweeted about it. I genuinely thought that this was going to be a trap because Bradley Beal was already out of the game. So I was like, okay, whatever. But then as soon as Kristaps Porzingis got injured or ended up not being in the game, they took Kyle Kuzma's lines down and then they put them back up at the exact same at 17.5. I was like, oh boy, the books definitely know something. But he had 16 in the first half, so it ended up working out for us. He hits it very, very early in the third quarter, so that one ended up working out. But then our other two plays did not. We had Hornets team total under 103.5 versus Miami. They scored 31 points in the fourth quarter, and they ended up going into overtime. That's just a tough beat that you're going to get those every once in a while. So we ended up losing that one. Then we did end up having our added play. We had Clint Capella under 20.5 PRAs. That was an absolute joke. Clint Capella, I am so sorry, my dude. That was absolutely atrocious. I thought it was a good spot. Clearly wasn't. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays because we do have 3 that I do really like. And I think that we got some pretty good spots here for them as well. So, for our first play of the day, our King's Kill Shot play of the day, we're going with a play that has plus value. Plus value. That's how much I love it. King's Skill Shot play of the day. We're taking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 4.5 assists here versus Toronto at plus 100. Now, before I get any comments, any questions, anything like that, do not take his PRA under. Do not take his points under. That is not what I'm going for. Strictly assists. And it's at plus 100 odds. But I think it's a good spot. He has gone under in 3 of his last 4 games. And with Josh Giddey back in the lineup, he is going to be that starting point guard here for the OKC Thunder. With that being said, Giddey is a very great playmaker. He's not just good, he is a great playmaker. And with that being said, it's going to take away some of those assists from a guy like SGA. I think SGA is going to be much more of a scorer tonight. His line is set to 28.5. I don't mind the over. I think he does drop 30 tonight. But I think he is going to get a ton of shots. I think SGA is going to get so many shots as of today. And I think it's going to be a tough spot. I think that Giddey's going to get a lot of the playmaking opportunities. Shai's going to be much more of a scorer. I just don't foresee him doing a whole lot of playmaking here today. Also, Toronto does allow the 4th fewest points per game to opposing teams. This is pretty relevant just because of the fact that if they don't allow a lot of points in general, it's going to lead to a lot of low assist numbers. So I think it's a really good spot. Toronto also does play at the 3rd slowest pace in the entire NBA. Not like the OKC Thunder really play at like a tremendously fast pace, but they still do play at a little bit faster here than the Toronto Raptors. So I think it's going to be a pretty good pace down spot here. A lot of these signs are pointing to the under. The history is on our side. He's hit in 3 of his last 4, 75% hit rate. Plus value, sign me up. Let's go ahead and get this King's Kill Shot play out of the way. Let's get a winner here. That is going to be our first play of the day. SGA under 4.5 assists here versus Toronto at plus 100 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking Desmond Bane over 22.5 points here versus Timberwolves at minus 120 odds. Now, I don't mind Ja either. I think that Ja does have a 30 piece again tonight. So I think that if you wanted to take Ja's points instead, you definitely could. But regardless, I want to target one of these guards, especially against this Timberwolves defense. Desmond Bane has gone over in 3 of his last 5 games and over in 6 of his last 8. So he has been very, very solid here over the recency of this season. Also, in the last 3 games, Minnesota gives up the 3rd most points per game to opposing teams in the entire NBA. That's a lot of points. They give up a ton of points. And with that being said, why can't Desmond Bane go get some? Let's be honest here. The Memphis Grizzlies, they do have Ja Morant. Ja Morant's great. I love Ja Morant. But let's be honest. Other than that, they really don't have a whole lot of scoring there on that team. And I just think it's a really good spot here. Also, Minnesota plays at the 2nd fastest pace in the entire NBA. The Grizzlies are a little bit slower than that. But both these teams are very, very fast-paced teams. And with that being said, the over-under is set to 235.5. The over-under definitely reflects every stat that I am giving you. Minnesota also allows the most points per game from the three-point line in the NBA. Now, why this is important is because Desmond Bane, I love Desmond Bane. As much as he does get to the rim as well, he is a three-point shooter at heart. He is averaging 8.64 three-pointers attempted per game. He's attempting over 8 threes per game this year. That's absolutely insane, which is, I literally can't wrap my head around that. So he's averaging a lot of three-point attempts. Minnesota gives up a lot of three-pointers in general. This is a recipe for an over for Mr. Desmond Bane, so we're going to be riding with it for our second play of the day. Desmond Bane over 22.5 points here versus the Timberwolves at minus 120 odds. Now, for our third and final play of the day, we're going to be taking Julius Randle over 20.5 points here versus Detroit at minus 115 odds. Now, he has gone over in 3 straight games. So, is he due for some negative regression at some point? Sure. But I just don't think it's going to be today. If you take a look at it in his last 3 games, he has seen shot attempts of 15, 16, and 19 shot attempts in each of his last 3 games. And with that being said, he's being very aggressive with the basketball, and that is what we love to see. We love to see the shot volume. We love to see him being aggressive, and I think it's a really good spot to target. Also, the Pistons, they do allow the 4th most points per game to opposing power forwards, so they allow a lot of points to that position and just to bigs in general. They don't necessarily have the greatest interior defense, so I think it's a good spot to target here early. Also, Detroit is 27th in points allowed just in general, and they give up 6 more points per game on the road. So they're a much worse defensive team on the road as well. I think it's a good spot. Detroit has the worst defensive efficiency in the entire NBA. They are not a good defense whatsoever. I think that Randall can get to 21 here for us. The over-under is only set to 225.5, which is literally like the most average over-under I've ever seen. Like, it's just kind of like, it's not saying it's high, it's not saying it's low, it's just literally right there in the middle. And it is a 8-point spread in favor of the Knicks. If the Knicks do end up covering this, Julius Randle will have to have a pretty big night. So I think it's a really good spot here. So to be taking this over. So I think it's a really good spot. So we're going to be riding with it. Julius Randle over 20.5 points here versus Detroit at minus 115 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We're literally 2 subs away, so it'll probably be 8,000 by the time you guys are seeing this. But make sure that if you guys are new, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sander signing out. Peace.